Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of A Chat with Deb with your favorite girl, deborahpeterside. Anyways, to spice up conversations, I decided to bring up something that, of course, I feel will be very interesting and might add a little spice to what we do here, and that's introducing a special guest host for the month. So, guys, for the month of March, we have a very lovely person gracing our screens, a very good friend of mine. She has started doing drugs, she has started dancing. A very good friend of mine. We've known ourselves for over 13 years. A lovely person. I call her Romina from the very popular series, I think, telenovela Second Chance. Her name is Ojorumi, aka Romina. Yeah, we're very good friends.
Hi everyone.
Let me introduce her properly. She's a mother of 2.
Yes, so
She's been married for 7 years.
Yes, so.
Correct person.
Yes, so.
Rumi is very interesting, a very wonderful person to have a conversation with.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
is there's no dull moment
At all.
with Romina. Anyways, welcome our very lovely Rumi.
Thank you very
How
much.
are you?
Hi everyone, I'm fine.
We can laugh. Let us hope we don't spoil this episode with so much laughter. Yeah. Okay, so on today's episode, like you said, we're talking about singles and married, or the single life versus the married life. We're not talking about it in the sense of which is better than the other, but we're looking at it from the point of view of the changes, the challenges, and how to handle the challenges from these phases. So guys, let's jump into what we have for today. Of course, I'll be talking from the singles perspective, while Rumi will be talking from the married perspective, although she has experience from the both phases. Well, I'll look at the single life as a stage in one's life where one is unmarried, and where you don't have marital responsibilities legally. Yeah, but of course you can still handle responsibilities although they are not legal binding. Now there are singles that bear responsibilities from their immediate families. We've seen a lot of singles that take care of their parents, that take care of their siblings and all. They have responsibilities, but those responsibilities are not from the perspective of marriage. Okay, so what can you say about the married life of a person?
Well, basically, based on the fact that I've experienced both, I think when you're married, you no longer think about yourself alone.
All right.
No longer
Very
you
true.
You don't have someone else to consider before you take some decisions. You have someone else to consider before you do some certain things. So that's just it. Your sense of responsibility heightens because you're no longer responsible for only yourself. You're not responsible for yourself and someone else. Then when the kids come in and more people, so the responsibility increases when you get married and when you have more kids. It just keeps increasing as the days go by. That's basically it.
Okay, so I was going to talk about certain challenges, but you talked about responsibilities. Let me just take a leap from there. When I defined, or when I looked at the single phase and what it actually means for somebody to be unmarried, I also talked about singles taking up responsibilities, but not necessarily marital responsibilities. Now we see that there are also singles that handle responsibilities of their home. So does it now mean that when somebody gets married, the responsibilities they handled while they were single shifts to their home? Or do you think it's wise enough to carry both the responsibility of their immediate family and that of their marital, of their new home?
I don't think it's a question of whether it's wise to carry it, because whether you like it or not, if you get married, your family is still your family, your immediate family is still your family.
Immediate family.
It's just that it adds more. Especially if you're now from a family where maybe you're the breadwinner. Or maybe you're the only child, or maybe you have siblings that are not really doing so well. So you can't just abandon your immediate family just because you're getting married or you now have more responsibilities to cater for. So you know how to balance it. You will definitely reduce what you used to do for your immediate family before, because now definitely you have someone else to take care of, and you have kids to take care of. So it's definitely reduced, but I don't think you totally shift from your immediate family to your partner.
But we've seen a lot of people that immediately they get married, they tend to forget. I would like this word forget, or they tend to wash off their hands from their immediate family. Do you think is actually good? Or
no, I don't think it's good. And to be fair to them, I feel sometimes when you get married, it's easy to get carried away with issues and obstacles and challenges that come in marriage. It's very easy to get carried away because you're now basically living and spending your whole life with this person, and you're no longer seeing your family the way you used to see them, or maybe be with them the way you used to be with them. So it's very easy to just get carried away and get lost in your immediate and all your marital problems and responsibilities. So you tend to forget. But I don't think it's a good thing to just totally forget your family, and sometimes just take yourself back and remember where you're coming from.
That's true.
Where you're coming from, and go back and do what you're supposed to do.
A lot of people don't even consider that it's good to look back and know where you're coming from. That's a very valid point. People forget their immediate families, and their mind is we're actually moving forward. So that's where we are at now. What do you think are the very obvious challenges about getting married, apart from responsibilities that come with marriage?
Financial challenges must come, because nobody knows tomorrow. Today you can be someone that is very wealthy, you have a lot of money and all that, and tomorrow something might just happen, and everything we're not praying for that, but something can just happen, and
uncertainties.
Yes. All the money you thought you had can just go away, vanish. So I feel number one, that's one challenge that people face. Number two, when it comes to having kids, you might get married to them and you say, oh, within the next 1 year I'd like to have at least a child, but maybe infertility can come in, and you see that you're trying and the babies are not coming, the children are not coming. Before you know, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years,
aunties and uncles have started talking.
People have started asking. Sometimes even just barely 3 months after getting married, people start asking, hey,
belly, stomach checking, womb checkers.
What are you waiting for?
Are you a man?
Exactly. What are you waiting for? You know, that pressure comes. Before you know that you're putting that person on pressure, it's even difficult to even take in under such circumstances. Sometimes if you're even trying and maybe you go see your doctor, and the doctor will tell you, please take it easy. Don't pressure yourself, because if you pressure yourself, babies will not come. I feel like financial, number one, having kids, number two, taking care of the kids too. Even after the kids come. You still face either health. Your child cannot be okay this minute, the next minute just
it's not sick. Okay.
So that's just what happens. So the challenges and pressures come from different angles that you never even, or maybe the person you even got married to is a certain type of way, was a certain type of way before you guys got married. And you get married, you start seeing some traits in the person that you never saw
before you get
thought
married.
You could live with. But you find out that you have to adjust to those changes, because like the church will say, for better for us. Because they said we should stop saying for better for us.
No, I think they still say it now.
Yeah, they see the, but you know, people are now woke, so they feel like sometimes although they should adjust some of those vows. But that's by the way. So you see, sometimes you get married to someone and you start seeing things that you never imagined, or some characters that you never imagined a person could have, because you cannot know someone 100% before you get married. You can never know. No matter if you know, you can never know 100%. When you start living with someone, that's when you know the person.
Who the person is.
You know who this person and what the person is capable of doing.
But in most cases, I think a lot of people actually throw in the towel. They leave the marriage. Do you think it's an ideal if somebody begins to change or exhibit certain characteristics that were not there prior to getting married? Do you think it's an excuse to want to leave a marriage?
If it is life-threatening, you should.
If it is life-threatening.
Anything that has to do with your life, your health, or even the life of your children, I don't think you should stay and endure. You shouldn't. You shouldn't take any chance. Anything that has to do with your life, because if you die tomorrow, the man is not going to die with you, or the woman is not going to die with you. So anything that is happening, or any change or character you see in your partner that threatens
your life,
maybe domestic violence or something else, anything that has to do with threatening your life, please, it's not advisable to remain there.
So talking about domestic violence, let me ask you a question. Do you think it is overrated or underrated in this part of the world?
It's highly underrated here.
Yeah.
It's very underrated, because most times you hear cases like, it was just a slap.
From a slap, it enters a blow.
Or they tell you, it happened just once. So you should be able to tolerate it. Sometimes even if it has happened like 3-4 times, you hear things like, maybe you did something that pushed him to hit you. You get things like that. So I feel it is highly, if it was overrated, maybe many people would have been more aware that, in fact, it's never something you should tolerate. It's not something you should, whether it happens once or half, or whether you said things that you shouldn't have said. I know there's also emotional abuse.
Yeah, true. And that one, people don't really talk about it. People don't talk about it.
It's always domestic. Yeah. There's emotional abuse. You can be with someone who would insult you,
talk you down,
put you down in a way that you might even get into depression.
And it feels like you're the only one in that marriage.
Yes, exactly. So these are some of the challenges you face: emotional abuse, domestic violence, financial, having kids. So there's just a lot that comes. Many people think, oh, when they cross over to being married, from being single to being married, they feel like 99% of my problems are solved. I didn't know. You face a whole new level of challenges that you never ever imagined in your life. So what you should do is, at that point in your life, you see, you first of all, you pray that God should give you a partner that is, number one, understanding and that is a good person, someone that you will not wake up tomorrow and you feel like you're married to a totally different person. So at every point in your life, you pray to God and tell God, at this stage that I'm getting into, God, please let everything just work out for me, peace of mind. It's not like there will not be issues, but these issues that you can handle as a person, issues that will not be life-threatening. That should be the prayer that most people should say, because trust me, you must face them.
Very
they
true.
Are coming.
Very true.
Just pray for the ability to handle them.
Yeah, and I was going to talk about the challenges of being single, but I want to just draw your attention to this, since we're actually talking about marital challenges and all. You know, a lot of people say that they get married because they don't want to fall into flesh temptation. But we see that a lot of married people are still also involved in extramarital affairs. So do you think that getting married is a solution to this this sexual impurity challenge?
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not a solution. It has never been, and it will never. It all depends on self-discipline. Discipline yourself. Whether you're married or single, if you can discipline yourself, and if you are someone who is morally upright, there are a lot of things that you won't find yourself doing, whether you're single or you're married. Everything depends on you as a person and how well you can discipline yourself. You can be married and you can still be
messing around,
extramarital affairs. One partner will not be enough for you. So getting married doesn't solve anything. It doesn't end anything. So at the end of the day, you discipline yourself. If you're someone that is morally upright, you should be able to control yourself at any stage you find yourself, whether you're single or you're married. Because marriage doesn't stop it. If you are that kind of person, it will never change.
So you're hearing from her. Marriage does not stop fornication or sexual immorality. If you're going to commit adultery, if you're going to commit fornication, you will certainly commit fornication. It just takes a lot of discipline and being morally upright, like she said. Okay.
Let me ask you now, what are the challenges as a single person? What are the challenges you feel you faced and the pressure you face both from family, society, friends? What are the challenges and pressures you face?
Okay, basically I'll talk about, I think there are basically three challenges. I've talked about one the first time, having lack of self-control. That's a challenge. A lot of singles do not have the self-control. They can't control themselves when it comes to the opposite sex. They feel like, I talked about exploration in the last episode, or last but one episode, talking about living the single life without regrets. It's a time, a lot of singles think it's a time to explore their options when it comes to women or when it comes to men. I have so much at my disposal. Let me try out this lady, whether she would work, whether she's actually very good in bed, whether she's like this, she's well built, or he's well built, he's really good. I don't think that's a time to explore in that area. There's still a lot of very nasty seeds around. You see them, in fact, even now, before we held onto the sanctity of marriage, but now people are so bold to express themselves, to show off their babes or their guys committing and doing a lot of things, especially with social media. There's a lot of things happening online. So I think that's one of the challenges, having self-control when it comes to sexual purity. Then the second one would be expectations. A lot of people have so much expectations of us as singles. They expect that, okay, maybe at 25 I should be married, and when it's 25 I'm not married. They start holding family meetings on my behalf. They start asking me, when are you going to get married? The last but one episode I posted, somebody chatted me up and said, which I had responded to, chatted me up and said that the pressure he faced made him go into a lot of toxic relationships. And it took the grace of God for him to come out. You get? So the expectation is just up there. They wanted to do this. They wanted to do that. They wanted to accomplish so many things. And they're even asking, how are you able to do all these things? So that expectation is, I think, is part of the challenge. And the expectation goes down to bring about pressure. You're seeing your friends, you're seeing people around you get married, wondering, am I okay? Am I fine?
Exactly.
Internal, external pressure. Okay, so the third one, I think maybe the guy. What do you think? He said he doesn't think anything. So I think, okay, basically, I'll also talk about the pressure from expectations that bring about pressure. From a guy's perspective, you should get a certain amount of money, and at a certain age, you shouldn't live with your parents. Maybe when you get to 28, you should have a well-paying job. And so the pressure is just so much. And you see a lot of youths putting their hands into things that they shouldn't do. A lot of singles, especially, just because they want to fulfill or have at the back of their minds what they want to fulfill the expectations of society. And I don't think it makes sense. So I think those are the challenges that singles face. So how do you think we can deal with these challenges? First, from the marriage perspective, then I'll talk about the singles perspective.
First of all, I think I'll start with the church. You know, the church is where we get most of our, growing up, we got most of our values from the church, apart from our parents. So I feel the church is not doing enough. The church is not doing enough. I went through marriage counseling before I got married, so I know what the marriage counselor said. None of them focused on some or even a few of the things in my face when I get into marriage. They just tell you, they ask you, are you what's the genotype? Those are important.
Very important.
They ask for your genotype, they ask for your what's it called, the pregnancy tests and all that. They tell you, so you feed your husband, you do this, you respect your husband. They just tell you the basics. Nobody tells you when you get married, they might be this, you might try for children and they might not come. How do you live with it? How do you deal with it? Or tomorrow now maybe your husband or your wife or whoever gets ill. How do you deal with it? So they don't tell you how to deal with it. Because most of them have gone through this challenge. So why don't they use their real life experiences to teach the young ones that are about to get married? Because once someone tells you their real life story,
I think the church should do
tell
better.
You how to deal with it. I think you can learn and know how to work on yourself from there. So I think the church should do better. And also as individuals too. I think most of us are guilty of this. Unconsciously, sometimes you might just see someone that just got married and you say, you're never born. Unconsciously, we do
a very slight comment, but carries a lot of weight.
Unconsciously, you don't know the struggle, you don't know what that person is going through. You don't know if they've been trying. Or you don't even know if they decided on their own not
to have kids.
Yes. Because it's not easy. So sometimes unconsciously we do that. I have been guilty of it. So I won't like, I've seen maybe someone that is like, hey, why you never born? You know, that kind of thing. So I feel like we too as individuals, we should do better. We should do better. We should be sensitive to people's problems and their pains. We shouldn't just throw words around just because we have to talk. To talk. We should. And also, if you're married, don't let anybody pressure you into anything, because nobody's going to live your life for you. Nobody, no matter how you feel like you can seek advice from people at some point in your life, nobody can live your life. Nobody can tell you. Nobody should tell you what to do or how to live. If you get married tomorrow and you and your husband have only garri and sugar to drink, you thank God for the garri and sugar you drink
and drink it.
Don't compare yourself to anybody.
True.
Say, this person is eating spaghetti and chicken,
so I have
dinner,
to do the same
and
thing.
I'm eating garri, I'm drinking garri. Is my own case worse? Is my own case different? Don't do that. Don't put yourself under pressure. Don't even allow people to pressure you too. If you've not had kids yet, you hope and believe that at the end of the day you will. If at the end of the day it's not God's will too for you to have, don't kill yourself. Channel your energy into other things that can make you feel accomplished as a human being. Channel your energy into other things and see how you can achieve a lot with the time you have on earth, because nobody knows tomorrow. So don't allow anybody pressurize you. Don't also pressurize yourself, because we pressurize ourselves too.
True.
Sometimes don't pressurize yourself. Don't put yourself under pressure. And just make sure that you are an understanding person to your partner, and also your partner is an understanding person to you. And you guys just trust the people to live in peace, and the world will be a better place.
And talking about kids and having kids and the kind of comments people make, you know, there's this thing where people say, or they tell a woman, or they ask a woman when they go to say when she gives birth, how did you conceive? How did you give birth? How did they give her like the Hebrew women? You went through CS and there's this stigma.
You hear them say, hey, yeah, like what's
sorry,
did somebody die? I don't understand. Just because someone gave birth through CS, that's another pressure we're talking about. You see a lot of women that a doctor has told you maybe your cervix or whatever is not wide enough to push a baby out. The doctor has told you from the beginning that it is impossible. You hear things like, don't worry, we'll pray it out, or we'll pray the baby will come out through the normal means. You're just going to kill yourself and kill the baby at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, you have yourself to blame. If a doctor has told you it is through cesarean section, my dear, go ahead with it. Have your baby. You are alive. The baby is alive. That's what is important. Very important. That's what is most important. Don't try to think about what people say. I want to add something. All these people that will say maybe you have only one child, they tell you, when are you giving your baby a sister
or a brother?
Or a brother. It's not nice. Let people have the number of kids they can take care. It's not your business. Face your own life. Let me face my own life. If I say I want to have only one child, it's nobody's business
at all.
It is not, because you're not going to help me take care of the 10 children I will have. So if I say I want to have one, or if I even say I don't want to have at all, it is nobody's business.
I also think people should learn to mind their business.
Mind your business. Like,
people should learn to mind their business. People should learn to mind their business.
Because trust me, it's not coming from a place of care.
But sometimes it actually comes from a place of care, you know.
Telling someone to have more than it's not.
It's just a matter of not minding your business.
It's coming from a place of not minding your business. It's not your business. It's not from a place of care. It will come from a place of care if maybe you tell me, okay, have the child. I'm going to help you train the child up to university level. And I'm saying I know you care about me. Because taking care of a child is not easy. So please don't tell someone, oh, you should have 3 children, or you should have boys and girls, or if you have boys, they tell you must have girls. Or if you have girls.
Yeah, that's another thing. The gender, you give birth to only girls. That's a totally another day. I think we'll talk about it sometime. Especially when it comes to
women that have only female children. You hear things like, oh, you have to have female children so that you carry
your husband's name.
And most of the men that say this are even poor church rats that don't even have anything.
But you know, I think I'm not very sure whether this is true. But I learned in biology that it's the man that determines the sex of the child.
And they don't know. Most of them don't know. They will blame the woman. Say, now she give me girl. So don't let anybody pressure you, and you too don't pressure yourself. Nobody can live your life for you. You're the person that knows what is best for you. So do you at the end of the day. If having one child is what you can afford, have one. If having 2 is what you can afford, if having 10 is what you can afford, have 10. So don't live your life based on what people think or what people say. Because at the end of the day, no one is going to face those issues and problems with you. So just do you, live your life the best way you can, and make sure that you're living a fulfilled life at the end of the day. Don't let things around you define your kind of person and who you are. So over to you. Let's know how to deal with challenges
of being single.
Advice singles out there, how to deal with.
In dealing with the challenges, especially the challenge that comes with expectations, I don't expect you to, like you said, to live your life based on people's or what people think, what they want of you. You're only answerable to God. That's how I see it. As much as we have authority over us, the most important person in our life as singles is God. So anything you're doing, you should be asking yourself questions. Is God actually pleased with what I'm doing? You shouldn't get into marriage because your parents expect you to get married. You should be asking, has God brought the person into my life? Does he want me to get married at this particular time? So understand that these expectations, at the end of the day, you're the one to be in the marriage. If you're running, you're gonna run out. Same way. Then dealing with pressure and all, they come from expectations. Don't pressure yourself, like you said. Don't pressure yourself. Don't put yourself under undue pressure. It doesn't. It's not healthy at all. It can affect you emotionally, affect your mind, and affect other things around you. When you're under pressure, you don't function very well. And we expect to function well to get the best results out of everything we do. Then the other challenge that I failed to talk about was the challenge of loneliness. You know, as singles, there are points where we get lonely and you want people around you. But to deal with that, I think you should create healthy relationships. Create good friendships. Don't have at the back of your mind that anybody that comes into your life is there because you're supposed to get married to the person. You will lose sight of that friendship. You will lose sight of the fact that this person is meant to be a blessing in my life at a particular point in time. So get to know the person. Don't have marriage at the back of your mind. If not, most of the time you actually feel that loneliness. And of course, the Holy Spirit is there to help us in those times. He would see us through and through all those challenges. So create healthy relationships, make good friends, and those friendships actually won't help you when you get married. So create healthy relationships to deal with loneliness. Then finally, talking about self-control, you talked about being disciplined. We should all be disciplined. There should be a level of moral uprightness. Thank you. Moral uprightness. Don't give out your body because you think you're single. You're not bound by anything. That's what is in vogue. Let me test the waters. Let me get as many girls as I want, as many guys as I want. I can explore my options. Please stop doing exploration. You will explore and carry disease. You will explore the disease in the disease area. You will explore, you can't come out. Please. The point of exploration comes where you have a lot of options at your disposal. Positive options, not turning those positives or making good friends, turning those positives into negatives. That's your own risk anyways. So have self-control, and of course God is there to help us. And besides, getting married is not a criteria that you would not cheat in your marriage, or getting married doesn't stop you from committing sexual sin. But please remember, your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit, and anybody that defiles that temple, the Lord will destroy. So if you defile yourself, if you defile your temple, you know the rest. Interpret for yourself. So what are your last words, Rumi, to the married or to the single folks?
Alright, my last words to everybody is, make sure that you're living a happy and fulfilled life.
True.
At the end of the day. Make sure that whatever you're doing it because you want to, and not because someone else told you to do it, or not because somebody else pressured you to do it, or not because society pressured you to do it. Make sure that you're living a fulfilled life. That's what is important. So that if you die tomorrow, what do people say about you? What can people say? What are the good things people can say about you? Not just the basic, oh, she was nice, or he was nice, or he was a good person. Make sure you live a life that at the end of the day, when you sit back and look, if you are watching your life like a movie, you'll be satisfied and you smile. Whether you are married or you're single, you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. Being single is not the best, neither is it the worst. Being married is not the best, neither is it the worst. At every stage, you will find yourself being single. Be single and be happy. If you find yourself being married, be married and be happy. That's just all I can say.
Yeah, then for me, she has said everything actually, but I'd like to say specifically to those who make side comments, to those who, unknown to them, whose words make a great impact on singles and unmarried. I think we should watch our words. Mind the kind of things you say to people. If somebody has been met to just a child, it is none of your business. Please celebrate the person and be happy for them.
And move on to your
own. Move on to your own. Don't be a busybody in someone else's business. Then to those who are same way, if you're single, celebrate your singlehood, live the best, get the best out of it, like she has said. And then the world will be a better place. I believe so. So guys, thank you so much for tuning into this episode. We enjoyed today, Abby.
My cup of tea.
Please wait.
No cup of tea.
No cup
or
of
coffee. I don't understand.
So wait, if I give you coffee now, if I give you will take.
Why won't I take it?
Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Please take out time to hit the like button. If you enjoyed this video, and share with your friends. There's a lot to learn.
And comment too. Let's hear your thoughts.
Yes.
And we could read some of them.
Exactly. Very true. And if you have something to share concerning the single life or the married life, leave them in the comment section. We can't wait to hear your reviews and everything. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more fun. And also don't also fail to turn on the notification bell just by the right hand, by the left hand side. Is it right, left? And just by this side.